Look at me. I'm 67 years old. I worked 42 years. I did everything the right way. I paid my taxes. I raised my kids. I kept my head down. I trusted the system. And I'm telling you the truth, I almost retired broke. Not a little behind, not tight, but fine, broke. $32,000 a year from Social Security, a house I couldn't afford to keep, Medicare that didn't cover what I thought it would. My accountant looked at me and said, between 68 and 73, you're going to need about $60,000 you do not have. $60,000. That wasn't in the plan. Because there was no plan. There was just hope. And that's where most boomers are right now, staring at a number that doesn't add up and wondering what went wrong. Let me show you the real reasons boomers are retiring broke. Not the excuses, the truth. You hear this all the time. Everything got more expensive. Wages never kept up. The market crashed. We did the best we could. There's some truth in all of that, but that's not the full story. Because if it were just bad luck, everyone in your age group would be broke. They're not. Some people with the same income, same market crashes, same healthcare system, retired okay. Not rich, but okay. So what happened to the rest? It wasn't one big mistake. It was a handful of quiet traps. Things that felt normal at the time. Things you were even praised for. That's how people my age ended up broke, after 4 decades of work. Trap number 1, treating Social Security like it is your retirement plan. The average Social Security check today is around $1,900 a month. That's about $23,000 a year. You don't have to be a math genius to see the problem. If you're used to living on $50,000 or $60,000 a year now, you're staring at a 50 to 60% pay cut in retirement. And yet, for years, people said, don't worry, you'll have Social Security. The government won't let you starve. The government might not let you starve, but it won't keep you comfortable. It won't keep you independent. It won't give you choices. And here's the darker piece. The Social Security Trust Fund is under pressure. As boomers retire and live longer, the math gets uglier. Cuts, higher taxes, pushed out retirement ages. If your whole plan is that one check, you didn't really have a plan. Trap number 2, ignoring the healthcare gap. You know what most people plan for? Rent, groceries, maybe a car payment. You know what most people don't plan for? The fact that healthcare in retirement can easily cost a couple $200,000 or more over the rest of their lives. That's just healthcare, not luxury travel, not gifts, not helping the kids, just staying alive and functional. And Medicare? It's not free. It doesn't cover everything. And long-term care? That's basically on you. I've watched friends spend 30, 40 years saving and then lose half of it in 3 years of illness. Not because they were reckless, because they never did the math. They thought, Medicare will handle it. When you underestimate healthcare, you don't just run low, you run out. Trap number 3, putting your adult children's emergencies ahead of your own future. Let's be honest, you said yes when you couldn't really afford to say yes. Yes to covering the down payment. Yes to bailing them out of debt. Yes to letting them move back in, rent-free, for just a few months that turned into years. You told yourself, I'm helping my kids get ahead. But here's what the numbers say. Every $50,000 you hand your adult child in your 60s is $50,000 not earning for you in retirement. At a modest 4% return, that's $2,000 a year in income. Gone. Do that 2 or 3 times, you quietly erased $6,000 a year in retirement income. That's $500 a month. That's food, medications, a car. Your kids still have time to earn that money back. You don't. Because they never did the math. They thought, Medicare will handle it. When you underestimate healthcare, you don't just run low, you run out. Trap number 4, the forever home. You bought the big house when the kids were young. Good schools, nice neighborhood, extra bedrooms. It made sense then. But what about now? Now it's just you. in a 4-bedroom house, with a mortgage, with property taxes, with insurance, with repairs. That house is quietly draining $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 a month, while your actual life costs less than half of that. I know couples in their late 60s who are cash poor, stressed, and exhausted. Sitting on $400,000 of equity they refuse to touch. Why? Because moving is hard. Because the kids grew up there. Because we always imagined dying in this house. Nostalgia is expensive. The truth? You don't need a forever home. You need a funded home. Trap number 5. Believing that as long as you can make the payments, you're okay. For a lot of boomers, debt was just normal. Car payments, credit cards, home equity lines, student loans for the kids. There was always one more thing you deserved after working so hard. You never felt rich, but you kept increasing the lifestyle just enough that there was never extra to invest. You upgraded cars instead of keeping them. You remodeled kitchens instead of building a cash cushion. You swiped the card instead of saying, no, we can't afford that right now. And then 55 hits, and you realize you didn't buy time, you bought stuff. The balance is still there. The time is gone. So, what's the real reason boomers are retiring broke? It's not just bad luck, it's not that you were stupid, it's this. You were never given a simple, honest, early plan. You were told, work hard, be loyal. The company will take care of you. Then the pensions disappeared. You were told, just put money in the 401k, it'll all work out. No one showed you how much you actually needed. You were told Social Security will be there. No one sat you down and said, this is a floor, not a retirement. So you did what everyone around you did. You guessed, you hoped, you put out fires. You took care of everyone but your future self, and the years disappeared. Now here's the part nobody tells you. If you're in your 50s or early 60s, you are not too late. You are just out of time to keep lying to yourself. You cannot afford another 5 years of I'll start later. I'll invest when the market calms down. I'll downsize when the grandkids are older. I'll figure out health care when I'm on Medicare. You need a simple, brutal, honest picture. What you have now. What you can realistically save each month. What that could grow to in 10 years at a sober return. And what gap is left. For some of you, the answer is, we have to cut, we have to sell the house. We have to stop funding everyone else's emergencies and start funding our own future. That is painful, but far less painful than being 72, with no choices left. Here's what I wish someone had told me at 55. You have 10 years. Use them on purpose. 10 years is enough time to pay off a car and never have a payment again. Downsize the house and free up $1,000 a month. Build a simple, boring dividend or index portfolio that throws off real income. Get a plan for health care before it wrecks you. The real reason boomers are retiring broke isn't that they didn't care. It's that they never stopped long enough to see the traps until they were already inside of them. If you're over 50, you still have a chance to do this differently. Ask harder questions. Stop pretending Social Security is a plan. Protect your future self with the same intensity you used to protect your kids. In the next video, I'll show you one of the simplest paths boomers are using to rebuild late. How to create dividend income over the next 10 years, even if you feel like you're starting from zero. For now, do the bravest, most loving thing you can do for yourself. Look at your numbers. Really look, because I didn't know should not be the reason you retire broke.